Hi folks. Today was day 3 of the Wingnut Wings Sopwith Pup build. The steps that I did were closing up the fuselage. That's steps 3 and 4. On the instructions it also has adding the tailplane, which I'm not going to do right yet. I had to do a little modification of the order. But the good news is that I did indeed get the fuselage closed up, and it's going to need just a little bit of Tamiya putty along the top seam line, and maybe there by the cowling right there in the front. But the top piece over the cockpit fits in pretty nice, and that was kind of key because it has to slot in around the cabane struts, the rear cabane struts, and of course the pilot, who wasn't part of the package, has to fit in properly, and I'm pleased to say he does. Otherwise this whole thing wouldn't be going forward. Of course I've got masking tape around it. I'm just going to let it sit, and then we'll peel that off tomorrow, put some putty on, let that dry, add primer. And the reason I did not put the tailplane on is basically with the wings, they are a several step painting process. Priming, and then a mixture of paints for the upper surfaces of both the top and bottom wing, the horizontal stabilizer, the tailplane, and the ailerons. And what I did was I followed the suggestion for the final color, which is a 50-50 mix of Tamiya XF10 and XF62, which yields a fairly dark brown with a green tinge. But because I want the ribs on the upper surfaces to be lighter, or I guess a little worn, I added about another liberal dose of white to lighten it up. And you'll notice that the tailplane and the ailerons aren't quite as dark, but that doesn't really matter, because tomorrow when I peel off the masking tape and mix up the batch of the final color for the top surfaces of the plane, it'll be that 50-50 mix of XF62 and FX10, which will be darker, and that will unify and then leave lighter colored ribs on the upper surface. The lower surface has linen sail color, and there the rib highlights will be slightly darker. And of course the fuselage, once it's primed, will just have a matching color with the darker brown of the wings. So that's what's going on, and I should have that painting done, and maybe even the lower wing attached tomorrow. Have to make a unscheduled long road trip this week. There was a death in the family, and so there is a service on Saturday, which means I'm getting in my car, on Thursday to make a long drive to Wyoming. Be back the middle of next week, after which we'll continue with the pup. So far, I'm encouraged. As I knew, the tolerances are very, very slight. The kit fits together, but you've got to get everything placed just in the right position. And if you can do that, you'll be okay. See you all next week.